Help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true. Great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Can I hear an amen and an amen to that?
We may please take our seats. My name is Terry Isaacs Idaho, a broadcaster per excellence, and working with my sister Adesua Oyenokwe. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, Governor, Edo State. Your Excellency, Mrs. Betsy Obaseki, First Lady, Edo State. Your Excellency, Mr. Philip Schweib, Comrade Philip Schweib, Deputy Governor, Edo State. Your Excellency, Mrs. Schweib, wife of the Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Speaker of Edo State, my Lord, the Chief Judge, Edo State, the Honorable Secretary to the State Government, the Chairman of the ruling party in the state, our distinguished senators, fathers of the party in the state, head of service, our traditional rulers, members of the board of Alaghodaro Summit, commissioners, captains of industry, business giants, members of the fourth estate of the realm, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The key ingredients to the successful development of a nation is the quality of the men in charge. We need good visionary men to have good government. Good government facilitates the rapid and qualitative development of a nation. Bad leaders will bring harm to their people. So said Lee Kuan Yew, the first Prime Minister of Singapore. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to Alaghodaro 2021, the 5th Edo Investment Summit. This year's summit coincides with the celebration of 30 years since the creation of our state. We have entered the age of full maturity, and we are, by the grace of God Almighty, at the cusp of achieving sustainable, inclusive, and rapid economic growth as a sub-sovereign. But only if we stay disciplined and if we efficiently implement the reforms and policy choices that have been instituted over the last 5 years. I congratulate His Excellency, Mr. Godwin Noregase Obaseki, all the members of his government, all the leaders of his political party, traditional rulers, civil and religious leaders, and all of the good and law-abiding citizens of Edo State for achieving this 30-year milestone. By our electoral choices, our resilience, our commitment, and our work ethic, we are strengthening the economic and social fabric of our state. But as we celebrate it will also be a time for reflective and sober stock-taking to ensure that we never repeat the mistakes of our past and to focus on the task of achieving the Edo of our dreams. The choices that we make over the next 3 years and the pace at which we implement those choices will determine whether we stay constrained by the economic position of our sovereign, or we, as a sub-sovereign, attain the rare feat of massively outperforming our sovereign and become, against all odds, the Singapore within our own country. The Alaghodaro Summit, conceived by Mr. Governor, has served as a formidable platform for forging ideas and strategies to support the economic, social, and development plans of our state. The summit has created great opportunities for cross-pollination between the private sector, public sector, civil society, traditional rulers, and other critical stakeholders in our state. And it has enabled diversified but constructive views on the path to achieving the Edo state of our dreams. Discussions at summits have also helped us identify those barriers that affect and impede the implementation of our policy choices. Recommendations from previous summits have been adopted by government and have become policy, and they're now contributing substantially to the government's development agenda and plans for the attainment of sustained high growth, regardless global and national headwinds. The theme for our summit this year, Edo of our dreams, building a sustainable future, illustrates the unwavering will of this administration to receive and adopt varied views and best 21st century ideas in achieving, in the shortest possible time, the Edo of our dreams. This theme builds on the theme of last year's summit, which was making Edo great again, inclusive development for a sustainable future. And it continues the coordinated thrust to provide policy options and or the revalidation of those options that we have selected to government. Without a shred of doubt, building a solid economic future for our state and assuring the happiness, livelihood, and well-being of all the people that live in Edo State is the cardinal objective of this government and the driving thought every waking moment of Mr. Governor. I applaud the fundamental and necessary foundation laying and substantial institutional reforms which have been implemented in the last 5 years, especially in our civil service, our judiciary, our inland revenue services, our health and education sectors, arts and culture, and in our infrastructure space. I also fully applaud the massive support given by our state government to the police and other security agencies to assure a state where lives and property are secure and citizens can move around the state unhindered and without fear. We are creating an environment which is attractive to investment and which is attractive to patient capital. An environment that will enable the creation of very many jobs. An environment that will provide qualified and skilled citizens to take up those jobs that we create. An environment that will enhance our agricultural output, an environment that will catalyze other competitive economic activities, and an environment that breeds social contentment and a happy citizenry. One of the legacies of this administration will be to leave a directional tool which, if faithfully implemented, will ensure that Edo State becomes a high-income and a high-living standard sub-sovereign within the next 3 decades. A sub-sovereign that pulls up its other states' peers, despite our challenges as a country. That tool that this government will leave behind, which is the Edo State Long-Term Development Plan 2021 to 2050, also known as our strategic plan, which is presently still being crafted, will be discussed in some detail today by Mr. Governor. Its adoption, when fully crafted, and its implementation over the years will set us firmly on the path to achieving first world status. As we emerge from the devastating consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic, serious countries all over the world are now placing particular emphasis on innovative technology and digitization, fit-for-purpose education and human capital development, good governance, the rule of law, economic competitiveness, efficiency, infrastructure development, diversity, social cohesion, youth empowerment, and workforce productivity. These are the foundations on which a sustainable future will be built. The structure of our summit today has been designed for frank, innovative, cerebral, and exhaustive discussions, the outcome of which we expect, as in past summits, will provide recommendations that will feed into our development plan and enable us have policies that contribute to assuring our future. Right after this welcome statement, we will receive the summit keynote speech by Mr. Rashid Sarumi, a major investor in our state. Mr. Governor will then set the tone for our discussions today, highlighting our critical growth path and reinforcing his commitment and determination to place us on this path without looking back or faltering. His Excellency's address will be followed by the launch of the Edo 30-year plan, and thereafter we will engage in 2 plenary sessions. The first plenary session will look at empowering the next generation through innovation and digitization. The role of digitization and innovation in building a sustainable future and achieving first world status cannot be overstated. Our second plenary will look at reinventing governance, the bottom-top approach. Government must be structured to enhance productivity, improve efficiency, and provide first-class, first-world service to the good people of Edo State, which will enable the effective implementation of our plan. Both panel discussions today are critical to the development of our state. After the panel discussions, our Deputy Governor, Comrade Philip Schreib, will then give us a closing overview. On behalf of Mr. Governor, I extend our sincere appreciation to all those who share our dreams, to all our friends, our investment partners, our untiring sponsors, and I need to specifically thank our sponsors. Each time we call, they stand up to be counted. Thank you so much. Our resource persons, traditional rulers, religious leaders, our political fathers, our youths, our delegates, and gentlemen and women of the press. I also thank everyone that has contributed either directly or indirectly to this summit and to all our previous summits. I thank you all. We are grateful to you for the great sacrifices and substantial contributions that you have all made and that you continue to make. I would like to specifically thank my colleagues on the board of Alaghodaro Summits for giving their time and their resources without flinching to working hard for this summit and to working hard for our state. Finally, as I thank people, I would like to thank those who have joined us in planning this summit. I'd wanted them to stand up and take a bow, but they're really shy people. But in the last 4 years, certain ladies and gentlemen have worked extremely hard to deliver this summit. They know themselves, I'm looking at them, and I thank them most sincerely. They have performed over and beyond the call of duty. And you know, every year they get better. Every year they get more efficient. Every year they get more effective. Thank you so much. Let us all continue to work together to achieve the Edo state of our dreams. To our visitors, as I tell you every year,